Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
This is the next search on February 28, 2020, 7:44 p.m. How, does the FBI find people? People's misspelled P-E-O-O-P-L-E. Did the defendant find out how the FBI finds people in this case? Oh, she found out.
What more do we need to see?
Alrighty, we are back. We are back. Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. And my microphone is detaching itself as we speak. All right, we'll make it fly. There we go. All better. Welcome back. Hope you had a fabulous lunch. We are getting set. We're getting ready. Standing room only. Standing room. Oh. That means that I did something wrong. Hold on just 1 second. Let's see. Are the seats not working? Let me try it one more time. I'm gonna bounce the seating. Oh, now as soon as I shut it off, it starts working. So hold on just 1 second. We're gonna bounce it. Bounce it just quickly and. See, 3, 2, 1, connect. All four. There, go. Now the seats are working. We're good. We're ready to go. Now you can all take a seat. I hate it when it's all standing room. Nobody can see. Everyone's complaining. They're jostling for position. It looks like the courthouse outside the Karen Reed trial right now, which I might say is absolutely crazy. I'm not sure if you're following this on social media or not, but apparently the two sides, the pro... It's weird because the two sides have named themselves, in one case, the same thing. They're both justice for John O'Keefe, but one wants it one way and one wants it another way. So the pro-Karen and the anti-Karen, I guess we can separate it that way, are divided. Like the courthouse is divided right down the middle. There's like a dividing line. On the left is one side and the right is another, and they're like yelling at each other. Apparently both sides came up with like, they had their own songs created that were... espouse custom lyrics. They espouse their position, and they're playing their own custom songs. It's like dueling choirs. On the, I think Brandy Churchwell tweeted something similar to this just a minute ago. Dueling choirs on the front steps of the courthouse, awaiting this. A lot of people, a lot of loud voices, lots of megaphones, lots of signs, flags, T-shirts, and drama. Much drama. The townies and the regular people, says Paula Mack. It looks probably a lot like the Canton Select Board meetings looked until they decided to go virtual, back to Zoom, because they couldn't take the heat in the meeting room. So yeah, it's all spilling out onto the roadway now. So what a day. We've got a little under half an hour before we expect that feed to start. Probably about 15 minutes or so before we get a feed from the courtroom. Chat is not on screen. We'll put chat on screen now with, let's see, with this right here. How about that? Paula Mack, welcome. Welcome, Paula Mack. First in chat this afternoon. You were actually there pretty early. Paula Mack, I think you're familiar with this, but I have to go over this for legal reasons. We were all sitting quietly enjoying our lunch, letting it digest, doing a little bit of yoga, some Zen, little meditation stuff, and just enjoying the peace of the afternoon. And then you came in chat and blurted out hi like that. And since you blurted out and broke the stillness of chat, the floodgates opened. And now look what's happening on chat. It's going. Clearly this is all your fault, Paula Mack. And so we're going to have to sentence you for your crime of breaking the silence in chat this morning for being first in chat. We sentence you to internet ownership. Yes, you are required to maintain the internet worldwide for everyone and for whatever purpose they use it for. So if you can just go ahead and get on that, we would appreciate that. Thank you very much. And yeah, lots lots to do. We're trying to keep our focus on the criminal courts that are not political. How do we say this, man? There is a lot happening in the news right now. We're not following. Well, we are following, but we're not talking about the political stuff that's going on up on Capitol Hill and elsewhere. There are some other channels that are following that, and I do encourage you to get involved with however you choose to do that. We just have found that it works better for what we like and what we like doing here to not address that on this channel. So let's do Pickles, not politics. We don't need the updates on what's happening there. If you do get a timeout, it's just a reminder that's the case. We love you anyway. Just let's just keep focus on the Karen Reed trial and as well the Ashley Benefield trial, because we're waiting for word out of Florida that the jury has been selected in that case, and make sure we get a start time and date for that trial. So, all right, keep it safe with CrowdStrike. That's too soon. The effects of CrowdStrike, for those that don't know, every time we talk about CrowdStrike, the last couple days, over the weekend, I guess, as well, there were like 5,000 flights that were canceled because computer systems crashed. And they crashed because apparently there was an update to CrowdStrike, which is normally like a virus scanning tool, like a safety tool, but it had an error in it, and it caused systems to cease functioning. And so lots of things went down. So CrowdStrike has taken a big hit that way. Let's see. I do politics, just not on this channel. That's what we do. One of my favorite channel videos reached over 3.3K views. Small achievements. Hey, Kiki D, that is awesome. Kiki D has a YouTube channel where she gardens. She shows you under garden, and it's awesome. That is cool. 3.3K views. That is neat. That is really cool. Congratulations on that. I was one of your first subscribers. Before you go big and change the gardening world as we know it with your influence, I'd like to say I was there first. So thank you. If you've got a green thumb, give her a follow. This is really cool. All right. Sorry, too soon. Yeah, a little bit on that CrowdStrike stuff. Lunch was fabulous. I have to correct the record. I said I did not have any avocados, but Mrs. R.A. went to the store and she got avocados last time she went shopping. I just didn't know it. And there was one, there were 3 avocados in the bag, and there was one that was just the perfect ripeness. I'm like, the first 2, I'm like, nope. And the third one, I'm like, oh, that's it. That's the avocado. That's the one I need. And it was delicious. I ate the entire thing cut up on my salad. It was wonderful. Jewel says, I'm almost ready for Ashley Benefield. It's coming up soon. This is the week. Pickles, not software patches. Participation trophy wife. Good to see you here. You made it on time. Welcome. Angela is still working on my YouTube channel. Start before you're ready. That's my advice to everyone who wants to do that. Am I the only one who doesn't eat avocados? Holy cow. Hang on. Like a hurricane just hit us, like right now. It's dumping buckets of rain down. Like my house is shaking from the impact of the rain landing on the roof. I would see it rolling off my roof in sheets. Wow. I didn't even know it was going to rain today, but apparently it did. It is. I used to not like avocados, but now something changed, like it snapped in my head. Maybe I'm broken, maybe I'm fixed. It depends on which way you look at it. But yeah, love avocados now. They're delicious. All right. Angela sent the bad weather my way. Thank you for that. My yard needed it. We had like 2 weeks of really hot weather, hot dry weather. Well, it was hot, humid weather. It just wasn't raining, not humid enough to rain. And this is a good break. It keeps it cool. The cat does not a fan though. My cat does not like rain. All right. Where were we on everything? Let me actually I need to change this around. Reset that. And take off the limiter. There we go. Resetting the audio for a clean feed again. We'll adjust it as needed once it comes in. All right. How hot was it? It was hot. I complained because it was hot. It was like 97, and that's really, really warm for North Carolina. There's a couple times a year where we might reach 100, but that's really, really hot, especially this early on. It usually gets hotter towards August time for us, which is why we're traveling during that time. We want to go somewhere a little cooler. So we went to the desert, so, the western deserts. But it'll be good. Mrs. R.A. also made me some, we have a neighbor who has, I think, 30 some odd chickens. And so he has eggs, like oodles of eggs. I don't know what you call that when you have it's an egg festation. I don't know. He's got like 6 dozen eggs to give away every 2 days. It's absolutely nuts. And so we got some fresh farm. What do you call that? Free range eggs from him, and hard boiled those. They were delicious with the salad as well. 108 in Idaho. Oh, Ashley, I would melt. I mean, I used to tolerate that heat, but now that I live in humidity, that much heat would just be too much. Florida is a complete sweat box. Man. Extra eggs. Here come the egg puns. Yes, they're coming in. Anyway, where we are in the Karen Reed trial, I think we told you Ashley Benefield, they're still in jury selection. As soon as that's done, as soon as we have confirmation that's going to start, we'll be following that trial. That is the ballerina trial, the ballerina murder trial, where Ashley Benefield, the history, she met Doug Benefield at a political convention or a political fundraiser or something like that, a big meeting. They hit it off right away, texted for 13 days and got married immediately. She got pregnant after he reversed his vasectomy. Ouch. And she got pregnant, and then they split up, had a custody battle over the kids. It went for quite a while. It was about to be concluded, and while she was moving stuff out of his house, I believe his house or her house, I'm not sure where she was moving out of, he was helping. An altercation occurred, and she ended up shooting him and killing him. And so now she's on trial, second degree murder. Interesting little case. Some fun stuff's going to come in on this one. It has some interesting personalities already. The judge and the defense, not a lot of love between those two right now. The defense attorney is like 72, 74 years old. He's a little bit old school. He's fought with the judge a little bit. He fought this morning. We saw the hearings where he was arguing about needing an HDMI cable, like a motion for an HDMI cable, a motion for a laptop desk for his assistant who now can't sit at the table with him. It's been crazy. There's more fireworks to come in that case for sure. He also made a motion over the weekend for continuance and a motion to dismiss the judge this morning. Those were both denied. They're going forward anyway. 13-day courtship. For some that's long. So anyway, that was my wife and I was a short courtship, I thought, and we were. Let's see. We were 6 or 7 months of courtship, but I knew she was the right one early on. Let's see. And yes, Allie, you're absolutely correct. She was 24, he was 54, I thought. it was like a 20 or 30 year age difference. It was a ton, big age difference. I think it was 30. Always drama over HDMI cables. Yes, so that's the Ashley Benefield trial. So we followed that this morning. We followed the motion this morning as that happened. Then now we're switching over for the Karen Reed trial. This hearing that's happened, the whole purpose of this hearing is to decide if and when the Commonwealth is going to retry Karen Reed in this case. The first one ended in mistrial. The state, at least I think Mr. Lally immediately after that said, we're definitely going for round 2 on this one. This is the meeting where he has to decide that. If he says no here, it might be done. It might be over. I doubt he will do that. I think they are going to go ahead and try to give this another go. But they have a serious challenge, more so I think now than they did before. Because last time they went to trial, Proctor still was on the force doing what he was doing. Now he's not. That has changed. His employment status has taken a direct hit as a result of what's come out in this trial. So lots and lots of things are different if these same people have to testify again in the next trial, there will be other questions that can be brought out that can seriously hinder their believability or their how the jury views their testimony. So, Welsh Lady Reed says, I sent you a super chat. Did you send on this one here? I see Rockies. Thanks for all the birthday wishes. That was so awesome. You all remembered from Saturday, and I still got a song. Love this community. Rockies, I'm glad we could sing to you this morning. That was a lot of fun. Glad you, and you share your birthday with a couple of great people. I think we have, I think there were 4 other people we sang to this morning as well. Hope you're enjoying your birthday. Welsh Lady, I'll check. I think I can check the, let's see. I don't know where to do that. Let's see. I can go down the list. Rocky's Cachette, Kim R, Crazy Cat Queen, Samantha Terry, Crazy Cat Queen, Q, Krista, Michaela Haney, Welsh Lady Reads. I see it here on the Sarah Boone letter. The Sarah Boone letter, I saw Welsh Lady Reads, and RA having a law degree is not included in qualifications. Is that the right one? That's the last one I can see during... if I go down the list. And by the way, just looking at this list here of people who've sent super chats, you guys are incredibly generous. Thank you so much. That is just amazing. You guys are wonderful. All right. We expect a feed from court in just moments. Fingers crossed. This may be a different courtroom, so we're hoping that we get everything connected correctly. Don C., I'm sorry you had a loss in the family. I'm sorry. Welcome back. It's wonderful to have you here with us, and I'm so sorry about that. We will be covering the Black Swan trial, Ashley Benefield. The reason why they call it, some people have been asking, why do they call the Ashley Benefield trial the ballerina trial or the Black Swan trial? She was a ballerina, and one of the things they did one of the things Ashley pushed for right as soon as they got married was starting a business about ballet, and I think it was in South Carolina or something. And it failed miserably within just a couple months. So that's a key part, and there will be testimony about ballet, I believe, in the trial itself. We might be in a different courtroom. Hope we still get the fan. I've missed it. I put it on the thumbnail. I'm here for the OnlyFans, says Holly Golightly. Twubble says, I watched Legends NASCAR race this weekend. One of the drivers' name was Lally, and I couldn't stop laughing. Don C., it's good to have you back. It's good to have you here. Thank you so much. It wasn't the same without you, Don. It wasn't. I just sent it. Congratulations one. I'm not seeing it on this end, Welsh Lady Reads, and I don't know. It could be CrowdStrike again, hitting us one more time. Lots of ballerinas that got scammed, never got paid. One day on the docket says, what phrases are on the bingo card for court this afternoon? We're going to hear from the defense, at least, a lot about jury members. Unanimous, charges 1 and 2, double jeopardy. I think all those things are going to come out. From the state, it'll be interesting. I want to hear what the judge has to say, because we have not really heard a ton about her position, and usually judges are one of the quieter people. After a trial, the judges don't talk. Usually the prosecution, defense does. Sometimes jury does. Judges are usually quiet. So we usually have to wait for a filing to get anything from them. Oh, look. Heavy rain has been detected in your area. Really? Just got like 4 inches all at once. Shall we vote whether they'll throw out the charge? I will tell you. I will tell you my opinion. We can do that. Let's start a poll as to what's going to happen. Okay, I'm going to put some options in here. Option number 1 will be what you asked right there. Throw out charge 1 and 2. 1 and 3, excuse me. Okay. Commonwealth does not retry the case. That's an option. Judge orders a jury hearing. And let's do the option 3 would be same trial, round 2. Same charges. There we go. All right, we have a poll up right now. Hopefully I spelled everything correctly. I didn't bother to check. But you vote, and I guess I don't think any of those two things can happen at the same time. Ryan C's, welcome. Thanks for clicking the subscribe button. We call that admitting being an addict. It's a true crime addict, of course. Welcome. You're among friends here. In just a few minutes, you'll be able to talk. I think we have some trolls that come in and say some really just. There's some people out there who are broken upstairs, and they get on the internet and they say broken things, and they do it to get a rise out of them. We have to put the 5-minute window in there because most of these trolls don't have the patience to wait that long. And 5 minutes is like the the limit. So I apologize for the delay there. We appreciate you joining us. You can see the welcoming coming in from your friends, your newfound friends right now. So welcome. All right. Thal's on the phone. He promises to be good.
Well behaved, Thal.
There we go. Thal, how are you doing?
Pretty good, sir.
Good.
Yeah, I still say that what I think is going to happen is I think they might throw out 1 and 3. I still say that if the prosecution had any integrity at all, they'd just throw the whole case out and not bother again. But they're not going to do that.
The reason they would throw the case out, it would be if they look at the jury and say, we had the best possible jury we could possibly get, and it didn't, they couldn't convict. I don't think we'll get a better jury. We're going to be hung again. The cost is too much for the Commonwealth. Looks like looks like everyone's frozen there. So we'll wait and see if they get the feed going again.
It's one of those things that I don't envy the judge at this point, and I don't envy the prosecution, because no matter what they choose, they're going to get blamed. But I mean, honestly, from my position here, the way I'm looking at it is the prosecution failing to prosecute the case again isn't a matter of, it's not a matter of them not doing justice to the victim. It's the fact that the investigation is tainted. And as a prosecutor, how do you go forward knowing that your investigation's been tainted?
That's a challenge.
At that point, I mean,
that's a challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some people who believe both things. They believe that the investigation was flawed and that Karen Reed is guilty. And that's tragic because the way the legal system works.
And I'm not saying she's not. I'm not saying she's not guilty. I'm just saying that before we get to any of that, we can't even get to that point. You know what I mean? We have to stop at the investigation and go, oh God.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where you have to stop as a prosecutor. I mean, if you're pursuing justice with straight integrity, you kind of got to stop there and go, dude, this was mangled.
It's got some problems. It's got some issues, but I think some of their evidence is good. I think some of their testimony is good. Maybe even enough to take to the jury. So I would.
Yeah, no doubt. But your lead investigator is.
He's got some baggage. He's got some baggage he brings along with him.
God, he's got a U-Haul, dude. Come on.
It's a train. He's got car
after
car on the train. Yeah, that's going to be a problem if they go to retry this.
Here's my question. If they go ahead and they let the prosecution retry with all the charges, here's a good question for you. Is do they let the defense bring in all prior evidence from the last trial? Because Proctor's been fired.
I don't know. We'll see. We've got a live feed now. Karen Reed's in court. She's sitting by Mr. Yannetti. Thal, we'll let you go. Thank you very much.
Bye.
We'll see you.
You're welcome, brother.
Bye.
Bye.
A little product placement there. What's that drink that's on the table there that looks like something orange flavored? Is that a Fanta? I can't quite read. It's not in focus, but if the cameraman could focus on the bottle for me, I would appreciate that. Minute Maid? Is it Minute Maid? Poland Spring. You're right. It is Poland Spring. which is the local version of Deer Park water, purified water. Okay, we are turning off the sound effects and the phone for the duration of this because we're all here to hear this. Oh, public's being let in right now, it looks like. That's a big bag. Bowling Springs orange. The poll is still up there at the top of the page. I'm going to go ahead and close it. It's nice to see familiar faces with the bailiffs. I saw Jim. I think, no, was it Jim? I think Jim was the clerk. Can't remember the names now. The people who have come in so far, I believe, are more of her supporters. They're sitting in the position behind her. They like to keep them sort of separated a little bit. They bring them in groups. We expect Mr. Jackson to join via Zoom on this one. We are in a different courtroom, but you can see the same sort of style, and we're looking for the fan. Nope, no fan. Dang it. Now, what I don't know if Judge Cannoni is going to be the one that hears this or not. I think there was some talk about a different judge. The clerk says, bring out the judge. Mr. Jackson should be on the live stream because he's in California right now. That's where he's based out of. And there's Judge Cannoni. Okay, I'll be quiet now.
Now open, you may be seated. Judge 22117 versus Karen Reed. Can I have counsel identify themselves starting with the Recovery?
I'm out for the Commonwealth. Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good morning. Good afternoon, Mr. Miller.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Laura McLaughlin for the Commonwealth.
Good afternoon, Mr. McLaughlin.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Martin Weinberg, appearing on behalf of Karen Reed.
Good afternoon, Mr. Weinberg. It's nice to see you.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. David Unetti for Karen Reed.
Good afternoon, Mr.
No,
Unetti.
Mr.
Good
Unetti.
afternoon,
Where's Mr. Jackson?
Reed. All right, so the case is scheduled today for trial assignment, and what I'd like to do is to get 3 dates. I'm aware that a motion to dismiss has been filed. I'd like to get a quick date on that, and I'm glad you're here, Mr. Weinberg, because I'd like it to be with your schedule. Then we need a trial date, and we need a final trial conference. So I was thinking on the motion to dismiss, can we do it a week from Friday? It would be for oral argument only.
From the defendant's perspective, yes, Your Honor.
All right, I think that's August 2nd.
I'm going to be out of state. I return on August 3rd.
Okay.
It's a Saturday. Or is it? No, it's a Friday.
August 9th? Are you available? 2 o'clock. Are you available, Mr. Weinberg, on August 9th? Mr. Lally, is the Commonwealth available on August 9th?
That's a Friday.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so that's for oral argument only. Okay?
2 p.m.
2 p.m. All right, so given the schedule, and I assume whatever I end up doing on the motion to dismiss will be appealed, in an effort to make sure we have plenty of time, I would like to schedule the jury trial on January 27th.
Whoa. Jury trial January 27th.
Is the Commonwealth available?
That's fine, Your Honor.
Mr. Eddie?
That should be fine.
Okay, so January 27th for trial.
Let's see if
And
this...
let's do the final trial conference the week of the 13th or even the week of the 6th. Do you have the calendar, Mr. Clerk, or any of those days?
Yeah, there's nothing, just not the 9th or the 16th, but all the days are open.
Okay.
Your Honor, the only caveat, I don't have anything on the 27th. I'm clear for that date, but for the fact that I have a Superior Court trial scheduled to begin in Essex County on January 13th. There are multiple...
How long do you expect it to take?
That's what I was getting to. That could take longer than 2 weeks. I'm happy to have this case take priority over that, but that's...
No, we'll hold it for you day to day if need be, and I can contact the Essex Superior Court judge once you know who he or she is.
Yeah, that's not ideal. In terms of preparing for trial, I can't do 2 or 3 week Superior Court trial and then jump into this case. I can't do that.
He's right.
Okay. So what are
move
you
the
telling
dates.
me? You just said
Goes
you're
into
willing to
February.
make this a priority, so we'll stick with the 27th?
Well, okay. Well, why don't we do this? Let's put it on for the 27th. Let me see if I can make peace in Essex County. And then on the next date when we come back for oral argument, if I can readdress the court on that issue.
Okay, I'm happy to talk to Judge McCarthy, who's the garage up there, about this.
It's yeah, okay, that's great.
All right, so let's set it for the 27th. And why don't we do the 14th for final trial conference?
January 14th.
The 14th at 9 or 2?
2. If it turns out that we have, in excess of 35 or whatever motions in limine still at that point, let us know and we will try and get the whole day. Okay? All right. Thank you very much.
That was it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All eyes support, please.
Nothing. We just set dates. That's it. No arguments, no motion hearing. This was just trial date setting. Strictly business. The one piece of telltale... Goodbye. The one piece we heard that was absolutely telling, in my opinion. Let me turn this down. They're just moving on. Let me get to this in just a second here. She didn't write anything on her notepad. Okay, that's all we've got. It's done there. It's frozen now. The one thing I heard that was very telling from Judge Cannoni is that any decision I make will be appealed. I assume any decision I make be appealed. That means that you're not going to like the decision. Who's going to appeal the decision? Probably not the Commonwealth saying, we want to try this. If the judge rules on this and says no, yeah. She's basically signaling that she's going to deny the motion to dismiss right now. That was quick. It's over. That was it. That was all we have today. I'm sorry if you missed it. Let me go over the details of what happened. There are 3 dates that the judge says we need to set. First of all, because of the motion to dismiss, because they came and filed that motion to dismiss, they need to have a hearing on the motion to dismiss. And that's the one that's going to be happening right away. That's happening August 9th. Guess what? I think I'll be driving during that. But August 9th is... No, I might be there already. Okay, August 9th is an argument only on motion to dismiss. So that's going to be everything about the jury. That's going to be everything about the verdict they reached but never reported. That's all going to happen that day. And that's at 2 p.m. So that's the same afternoon. It's just going to be a short, probably less than an hour or 2 hour block of a hearing on that motion to dismiss. No decision will be made there. That's argument only. Then the judge will, take it under advisement and make a ruling, most likely denying. And that gives them time. They have that right away because that gives them time to appeal it before court goes forward. That's why the delay is. So August 9th is our next court date for Karen Reed. Then the jury trial itself is scheduled for the end of January, January 27th, with the final trial conference, which handles all the motion in limine and everything like that. If they're still out there that haven't been resolved between the two parties, that would happen on January 14th at 2 p.m. Or if there's still a ton of things, like more than 35, she said it's going to be a full day conference. So, wow, just like that. Jackson's still on it. He's in California. I believe he didn't want to fly out there just for that. August 9th, motion to dismiss. Yeah, this is the one we're waiting for, Little Biddle. We're waiting for that one. That's where we get to hear all the details and the juicy argument back and forth from the state and from the Commonwealth as to why they should either proceed or not proceed with charges, at least two of the charges. What if it's snowing up there in January? Well, then we have a problem. I will tell you, January, it's going to be cold up there, and it might definitely change the protests a great deal. Why in January? This was just the available dates. It looks like the legal system in that area has a backlog enough that their next available date where they have a block big enough to fit the trial, okay? Because they've got an idea for how long the trial is going to take. So they have to look and see where there's a block that big, and that usually those bigger blocks have longer delays before they start if they get reset, because you'd have to move so many other cases if you were to move it sooner. There's no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing. Hey, I'm a big fan of that, Angela. You know I like ice fishing. Usually I don't put on gloves unless it's below 0 Fahrenheit. So it's got to be 30 degrees below freezing before I put gloves on when I'm ice fishing. Does drag it out for everybody. A little disappointing. We were hoping for a little bit more discussion back and forth. I think Mr. Yannetti, even knowing that this was a scheduling conference, was prepared to argue some points and to make some verbal motions there. To our understanding, the FBI investigation is still ongoing. Prosecution doesn't have to say the charges. At this point, no. They will once they go to trial. So far, yes. Phoenix Feather, so far, yes. This can change. Even up to the day of court, the prosecution might come in and say, Your Honor, we're moving to dismiss the charges or drop the charges. It could happen. It's not very likely, but it could happen. It's almost 3 years to the day of the incident. Bug Dugger, I will go and check the P.O. Box. We've got some time this afternoon. Have they reset the Karen's trial for January? Yes, Virginia. The January 27th is the new trial date, but the next time we get a hearing where we get to hear spiciness from Mr. Yannetti, possibly Mr. Jackson, and also from Mr. Lally is going to be on August 9th at 2 p.m. We'll be back there. Why is this a Commonwealth trial? Completely missed that. Massachusetts calls themselves a Commonwealth instead of a state. It has to do with how their state is set up. They are a Commonwealth. So in any other state, it would have been called the state versus Karen Reed. Here they call it the Commonwealth versus Karen Reed. But it's virtually the same thing for all intents and purposes. I thought it was August 2nd, a week from Friday. It was going to be August 2nd, and they moved it out because of Mr. Yannetti's... wasn't that right? Which one did they move? Yeah, I think Mr. Yannetti had a conflict somewhere. I thought that was... Who will be covering the trial for us? Let me look. I think I will. Let me look at my calendar here. August... I think I drive the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and I arrive on the 5th. So I'll be there. I'll be at the Airbnb. We'll cover the trial from the Airbnb in Utah to cover the hearing. What about the motion the jury member filed about keeping their name private longer? That was granted, Dog Lover. That was granted. It was an emergency motion. It was granted the same day. So had that juror not filed that motion, if nobody had filed a motion, the names would have been released on the 18th of this month. But that was filed on like the 17th, the day before, or the 19th. It was basically right at the deadline, and they extended it. And the extension allowed by Judge Cannoni was that the names would remain private indefinitely until basically so ordered by the court. So you've got quite a bit of time. Yes, Mr. Yannetti was out of state. That's why. So it was the 2nd. It moved to the 9th a week later. So that is the right date. We got that right. There are 4 states in the U.S. that call themselves Commonwealths: Kentucky, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. I think it's just a pride thing. They've got to be different, right? They're all Commonwealths. Apparently, all of them are ones you don't want to get pulled over speeding in. What is it with Commonwealths and speeding tickets? Virginia, go back to watch. It's 2 minutes long. It's so short. Bug Dugger, yes, I saw I was gifted a membership on Vicky's channel. That is awesome. I'll have to go over there and send a membership message. Why did they hide the names? They should be able to speak freely. Karen Kruger, they are hiding the names because the jury, or at least a juror in his motion, fears for his safety if the names come out right now. Do we know how long this trial will be this time? Dog Lover, probably very similar. I would say within 2 or 3 days in length of time, if they go through on all 3 charges. If some of the charges are dropped, like if 1 and 3 are dropped, they will have fewer elements to prove, and they won't need to call as many witnesses. So that was the only thing that would make it shorter. The jury can speak freely. The court just can't release their names, and the attorneys can't. Anyone who found out their names through court, like the media is not supposed to release them. You know, they can't release pictures of them or names or anything like that. But if the jury comes out and says, yeah, I was a jury member, I could talk about it. I could say, oh, so-and-so said he's a jury member. That's fine. But if you found out through court, that's where it's sealed. But if they release it themselves, it's fine. Proctor's testimony will be worse the second time. The worst part will be the worst part for him, where he has to start admitting that he was reassigned and taken off workload and investigated, and all that's going to be different. Sorry, I didn't hear the change. There was no change. Oh, you're talking about the dates. Yeah, we were writing it down. It was just a quick note that it just made 1 week later because he wasn't available. I think they should protect juror identities in this situation because the case is very public and polarizing. Lenova, of all the cases where I'd say yes, that's right, this is the one. I mean, we've got people on both sides charged with witness intimidation. We've got several lawsuits surrounding this case with people who were not key players in this case. Maybe just a witness or something else, but that would be, yeah, it's crazy. And honestly, that needs to be dialed down. That's not something that can become the norm. This is not the way it should be. And if we're doing anything that contributes to that, it needs to stop. So their very lovely ex you hate with all your guts can leak their name. Yes. Yeah. Because if they told somebody outside of court, that's letting it out. If you tell somebody, it's no longer a secret you can keep. You've already given it out. Doesn't the prosecution have to tell KR what the charges are they're going forward on? Not yet. I think they'll fight that out in filings before the trial starts, and it'll probably be solidified. I don't know. We've seen charges change even during trial. Like some get dropped or get struck down even during trial. So I think they're just going ahead with the same charges. Sequestering the jury should be the norm. Zess Alex, I like this idea, although it's super inconvenient for jurors. The problem when you talk about sequestering a jury, this is when a jury is literally kept separate for the duration of the trial from everybody they know and the public. So they will rent or book a floor of a hotel. They'll have bailiffs guarding them. It's almost like they're in jail, but they get better food and things like that. But and they get paid a tuppence for working. But man, if you sequester a jury in the voir dire, there's a million ways to say it, and all of them are wrong, I think. The jurors will be asked questions about if there's a conflict in their lives if they're not able to serve. If they were sequestered, and you'd be like, yeah, I'm a single parent. My kid comes home from school. I need to be there for him. You were going to have like whole groups of people, whole age groups of people, possibly, you know, parents with kids might be a very tough one. Somebody who's caring for an older parent would be excluded. And then if you carve notches out of society and say, we'll get you a jury of your peers, but you're probably not going to get anybody from your actual age group. Okay. Is that problematic? Lenova, I have not been covering Donna Adelson. I know there's a lot happening there. Even today, I think even right now, there might be something happening with her. I received my jury summons for San Bernardino Superior Court. Can't wait. Good luck to you, Plenier. I hope you get picked to sit on the jury. Sequestering the jury makes them mad, which can sway their decision, especially for long trials. I mean, if you have another 8-week trial, you're basically saying, hey, guess what? Your number came up. Everybody in your life, you basically can't talk to anymore. You can't see your family for the next 2 months, and we'll put you up in the Holiday Inn and feed you. That's it. That's a lot to ask of somebody. I'm more okay with them being sequestered during deliberations. Let's bring that back. If they're changing the charges, we'll know in a motion. We'll probably see it in the court paperwork, in the filings. Longest part of the next trial will be jury selection. How can they find anyone in the area that doesn't know about the first trial? I wonder, Labman, if they're going to ask for a change of venue because of this. Because if anything, they can demonstrate the public interest level in this case is so much higher now than it was prior to her first trial. The coverage locally, spilling out onto the streets, the city streets around Canton, is astronomical. So I don't know how you could get a jury that has not heard about it in that area. You might have to move it. Sign me up for Recovery Addict. Sure, we'll do it. Let's see. Daybell, jurors were sequestered, did a good job. Can't take another 9 weeks of Lolly and Bev. I think it'll be different. Honestly, I think Lally has got to make some changes in how he prosecutes this. So if he goes through on these same 3 charges, I think it will be different. I don't think he can do just the same thing and expect a different result. He's got to make some changes. OJ jury was sequestered and he got off. Oh, that was a long one too. It's like take you 9 months out of your life. I think if they sequestered the jury during the YSL trial. Speaking of YSL, that trial is back on schedule. It's going to be kicking back up again with the new judge who is all business. And she's like, this is the way it's going to be. She's laid down the law a little bit, and I can't wait for that to pick up again and see if she's able to hold the line on her new rules. Welsh lady, I'm glad you got the refund. Thank you very much. I'd hate for it to disappear into the ether. Okay, he needs to get rid of the Aruba stuff. Yeah, that was a bit much. Lenova says, I really don't think most people know about trials the way you might think. When I talk to people in my life about trials, they don't know about them. That's sad. I think this is something you should be very aware of in your community, how people are being punished and what they're being punished for. Or just tried for. Oh, Trooper Paul. Oh my goodness. The poor guy. Man, he gave it his all, but that just was he was little league in the National Baseball league, and the pitches were way too fast for him. He just could not cut it. Streamlined case, Virginia. I think if Lally can get his case streamlined, and I've been a big proponent of the fact that Lally did not prove this case and that Karen Reed should not be convicted because of that. But if Lally could streamline this case and just boil it down to the nuts and bolts of, just the few key facts that he has that aren't in dispute, I think he stands a good chance. I mean, we've seen convictions on circumstantial evidence that's less than what has been presented in Karen Reed's case. Now, granted, some of this evidence in Karen Reed's case has big question marks on it because of, mostly Proctor. But I think if he boils it down, he's got a better chance than if he tries to throw everything at the wall to see if something will stick. It seems desperate the way he did it this last time. Let's see. To be sequestered as a kid in Germany is called Stubenarrest, which means you can watch your friends play and you have to stay in your room. I'm a sequestered pro, so to speak. Your parents sequestered you. You were a naughty kid. Is that what you're saying? People in my life are always like, why are you watching court stuff? Ashley, here's what you have to do. Invite them over. And let's see. Have them watch the last day of the Alec Baldwin trial with you. That's it. Just the last day of the Alec Baldwin trial. Start after lunch, after the 3 breaks, and you'll convert them. They'll be like, is that where it ends? What's next? What happens next? And you'll be like, well, next there's a new trial. You'll win anybody over, I think, by watching that. Got my friend into court because of you. Awesome, Braxton. Thank you. And by the way, those pictures look amazing. You sent me some pictures to the burner. I think you know of which I speak. One of these, I want us to watch a trial in reverse segments. So they drag a guy out of a life sentence, make him stand up as people say bad things about him. Judge says he's guilty. Jury says he's guilty. Jury goes out and thinks about it for a long time. The prosecutor, defense, and then prosecutor again argue their side. We sit down and look at all the evidence and hear testimony. The judge welcomes everybody in the jury, and then we leave. Is that how it would work? Did I do that properly in my head? In reverse. The Depp trial was peak entertainment. That had some entertainment just because of the characters in it. Oh my goodness, they're actors and they were acting. Lisa says, I got my son watching you. He loves the Sarah Boone letters. Died laughing. This last Sarah Boone letter was probably one of the most amazing. We learned that Sarah Boone has a talent, and I'm not kidding. I'm not joking about this. She has a talent for laying out, graphics for publishing. She has a talent for that. She should work in like a print place, a newspaper or something. She made an amazing one-page ad. Hearing lasted about 5 minutes. It was very quick. Opening statements at the end would actually be interesting to see if they proved what they said. Yeah, let's go back and hold them to it. This would be like taking the weatherman from last week and dragging him back in front of us and saying, hey, you told us on Friday that Tuesday was going to be a thunderstorm. And then we're like, own up, explain yourself. We should make some accountability there. Welsh Lady reads, it came through. There it is. Congratulations, my friend, on reaching 59,000. Oh, we did. Oh, my goodness, look at this. We're at 59,149. One more, and we'll be at 150. Thank you for inspiring me. Thank you, my lovely, for this fantastic channel and community and mods. And, of course, Mrs. R.A., we appreciate you. Welsh Lady reads, thank you so much. Welsh Lady reads also has a channel on YouTube where she reads to you in a delightful Welsh accent. She's also helped us in reading court documents with an accent. It was wonderful. Thank you so much, Welsh Lady Reads, and super excited for your channel as well. Look, we just got the 150. Thank you, whoever that was. Appreciate you clicking on the like button there as well. My dog stepped on a bee. That was such an influential part of the the live stream that we put it in our rap song that we made during the gang trial. Let's see if I can find that. You up for some rap music? I'm up for some Monday rap music. For those that are new here, let me warn you a little bit what you're about to hear. We watched a trial where we heard a ton of testimony about gangs and how they operate and how music and rap music in particular is part of the gang culture and the gang signs and everything. And we learned so much about gangs that I said jokingly, all we have left to do is make our own little gang here in court. And we carried that joke on a little bit. I decided that my gang name, because everyone has a gang name, was going to be Big Dill. That's sort of like Big Deal, but we say pickles, not politics, so we went with Big Dill. And then we had I created some lyrics. I wrote the lyrics for a song, and then let's see if I can pull it up here. Is this the right one? I've got like 70 different versions. Let's see. I'm not sure which one it is. I wrote some lyrics and we put it to an AI rap audio. I'm not sure, this might be a mistake. We'll try it again.
Wake up in the morning wearing headphones. I'm running court into your brain like it's an end zone. My money's green like the pickles and you want some. Don't interrupt cause I don't want your lame objection. From leg t-shirts to murder, I think I've seen it all. From picking juries to when the gavel falls. The judge takes the bench and the bailiff yells all rise. And pay respect to the one and only go to true crime. Imitators they try but they just can't achieve. And when they fail they be like, ow, I stepped on a beat. Take the stand and the jury chooses not to believe. Because there will never be another creator like me. Big deal in one corner and the count in another. We've got the judge reading chat while we talk to the lawyers. All our clips go viral, they're the good not to share. Came in late, check the thumbnails, you'll find it all there. They say I'm addicted to rhyme, but it's more than just time. And the mic is hot, the gavel drops, and I'll be talking about crime. And don't you worry about the sound, cause I'm keeping it real. Just like a pickle jar, but I'm one big deal. They say I'm addicted to rhyme, but it's more than just time. And the mic is hot, the gavel drops, and I'll be talking about crime. And don't you worry about the sound, cause I'm keeping it real. Just like a pickle jar, but I'm one big deal.
So I wrote all the words to that. I've written songs since I was a kid, so lyrics are fine. But we actually used an AI that made the voice and all the music. I put the words in and it just created a rap out of it. The bass is thumping, too hard. Nice test of my new headset. It works. Anyway, a fun little break there. So that's our channel rap song. Released that single. It's out. I just did. Drop the clean beat in the Discord. The community needs a remix. I don't know how to do that. I mean, I can put it out there, but just found out my fancy kitchen not only cooks but can do espresso martinis. I am done. Finally, day drinking got me. Ivy Berlin. You found the hidden features of those kitchen devices. Weatherwatch, would you consent to me putting your voice into AI for feature first? Hey, Cachette, forgiveness is so much easier than permission. Is he really going to sue you? I mean, he's probably going to drop me as a podcast partner, but would he really sue you? Anyway, let's see. We have, since that is all that's happened so far today, I'm just looking. Everybody is going to lunch, some of the courts we normally follow. I just got a scam text. When do you have free time? Let's meet up, from a number I've never seen before and never texted me before. Delete and report junk. Okay. Got something on the burner I'm trying to get to. Just 1 second. Oh, kind words from Debbie. Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate that. Let's see. Look at mod chat for a gem from Lady Draconis. Let me look at mod chat. Hang on. What's out here? Oh, I think she's talking about... sorry, my buffer sound was off. Were you talking to Weatherwatch or to me? Pickles baseball just got even hotter. Is that the one? I'm not sure if I can watch that live on the air. Tinsel and TP, what? I woke up and nothing happening, or did I miss it? Tinsel, you missed it, unfortunately. You'll need to rewind. It only took about 5 minutes. What happened was this was just a scheduling meeting. It was a hearing scheduling meeting. The judge walked out. She barely sat down. She says, we need to pick 3 dates. The first date is the date to have oral arguments about the motion to dismiss. That's going to be on August 9th. The next date, she says, we need to pick a trial date when we go back to court, when we're going proceeding, and they decided on January 27th. So the end of next month, or end of January next year. So we're 6 months out there. And then she said, and the third date would be the pre-trial conference, which is going to be I think the 14th of January. So those are the next 3 dates on the schedule. Send a cute photo. You sent me a cute photo of your dog. Let me see. Let's see if I can show this. I have to. There we go. This is I think this is a high school football picture, right, Picky? Let's see what it is. His name's Honey on Instagram. I think he's a mascot for the school, which is just awesome. Really cool, or an honorary mascot. Things I find while scrolling on Instagram. All right, so here's what we can do. We have nothing else as far as court for today. It's only 2:30, which is early. Let me see if we've got some of our favorites to see if maybe Judge Boyd is back on the bench. Yeah, this hearing is over. Quickest hearing ever. Who's Judge Raquel West? Have we watched this judge before?
Have a jury. Today is your day for a jury trial, and you are waiving that day. There's not going to be a time between now and when we come back that you say, oh, I changed my mind and I want to have a jury. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you understand, if you're not a U.S. citizen, that a plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, y'all signed the post-conviction waivers on the written admonishments. Did you intend to do that? Okay. We're going to mark those out. Any evidence that Mr. Segura is not competent?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, I'm going to find that you entered your pleas of true to the DWI, as well as those 2 prior DWI misdemeanor offenses, freely and voluntarily. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty at this time. However, I'm going to reset your case for a sentencing hearing. We'll get a pre-sentence report done by the probation department, and we will set it at a time when we have all of this. I'm assuming would be proven up by documentation. It wouldn't take very long, Mr. Coleman.
We'll probably have some ways.
So what I'll do is probably set it just maybe like we did today for a hearing at 11 o'clock on a Monday. And I would think an hour would be plenty. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll reset it for sentencing on a Monday, but we'll go ahead and set it at a special time so that any witnesses aren't here just waiting. Mr. Segura, you need to stop and talk to probation on your way out of the courtroom today. She'll tell you what you need to do between now and sentencing. And she's sitting at that desk right over there.
They can be excused to this date.
Oh, she's
No, but Kelly went to get the probation.
That defense lawyer looks familiar with a red tie.
She's going to give you some some paperwork. The clerk is. You're going to need to read that. It tells you where to go. You need to go straight to the probation department from here today
Do not
to
pass
get
go.
that process started. Obviously, if you don't go do that, then things could be much worse. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
If you'll step over here, she'll get that to you. Yes. And Mr. Gilthorpe, are you working on paperwork? Okay. Take your time, Mr. Colvin. Once you go through that, we'll take care of it.
All right, I'm just seeing if we have any other courts we can bring you now that we have no more action in the Karen Reed hearing. That was very, very short today.
That's a terrible idea. Well, I don't know. Maybe more specific. That's a lot of history.
Okay. No. First, let's see. Judge Mercer's picking another jury. We'll skip that. We've already seen him pick one jury here. Expedited accusations calendar. Going through my list of people we can watch to see if we have any good action live from any of our regular courtrooms. We can go back to
judge at that
Kansas,
time.
new judge.
You wanted to address that, Mr. Boland?
Yes, sir. I didn't just not appear because I blew off the court. I get 100% disability for PTSD, and because of the extent of the trauma that I endured, I have to forget. You know, I'm not going to bring it out in open court, but I have to forget what happened. So in the process, my memory is gone to hell, and so my head is messed up. And I didn't just not come to this court date. I just totally forgot. So the VA has given me a in-home healthcare nurse to remind me of appointments and to remind me of things that I have to go to. So I didn't just, when the officer stopped me, he said, "You had a bench warrant." I said, "For what?" Because I didn't know. I didn't even know that I had one. So, you know, I want to apologize to you, and I want to apologize to the court for not making it, but I didn't just blow it off because I said, "Well, I'm not going to go." I just didn't remember. My head is just messed up, Your Honor. In all honesty, and I want.
Let me stop you there. Since you brought it up, I'll bring it up. You have another case, apparently the subsequent one from July 20th, where you were again stopped for no valid driver's license, Class B misdemeanor. Then apparently the warrant became known to the officer, and he went ahead and took you into custody based on the prior warrant for failure to appear.
Yes, sir.
You also got that charge pending. Regarding this July 20th no valid driver's license charge, what are your intentions regarding a plea?
I'm gonna plead guilty.
Okay. You sure you don't want to talk to an attorney about this before you?
Well, I probably should. I probably do, but I would like to get an OR bond, Your Honor, so that I can go and talk to an attorney and try to get this thing squared out a little bit more. But if you want to know the truth about it, Your Honor, I'm guilty of what. You know, even if my attorney says, "Look, well, don't do that. Let's try no contest, or let's try some other stuff." In reality, I know I'm freaking guilty. Be honest with you, there's no sense in me trying to BS nobody. I mean, I did it. But you know, if you suggest I talk to an attorney before I admit, then that's what I'll do.
It's a little late.
You do have the right to enter a valid waiver of an attorney. I don't recommend it, Mr. Bowen, but you do have the right to. You could waive an attorney.
Yes, sir. No,
I don't recommend you do that, but you do have a right to knowingly waive your right to legal counsel.
I've got to go back.
That if you can't afford a lawyer,
I've got to go back and get that. There we go. Let's see. Right about here. We're going to rewind for about 2 minutes and just record this.
He said, "You had a bench warrant." I said, "For what?" Because I didn't know. I didn't even know that I had one. So, you know, I want to apologize to you, and I want to apologize to the court for not making it, but I didn't just blow it off because I said, "Well, I'm not going to go." I just didn't remember. My head is just messed up, Your Honor. In all honesty, and I want.
Let me stop you there. Since you brought it up, I'll bring it up. You have another case, apparently the subsequent one from July 20th, where you were again stopped for no valid driver's license, Class B misdemeanor. Then apparently the warrant became known to the officer and he went ahead and took you into custody based on the prior warrant for failure to appear.
Yes, sir.
You also got that charge pending. Regarding this July 20th, no valid driver's license charge, what are your intentions regarding a plea?
I'm gonna plead guilty.
Okay. You sure you don't want to talk to an attorney about this before you?
Well, I probably should. I probably do, but I would like to get an OR bond, Your Honor, so that I can go and talk to an attorney and try to get this thing squared out a little bit more. But if you want to know the truth about it, Your Honor, I'm guilty of what you know. Even if the judge, even if my attorney says, "Look, well, don't do that. Let's try no contest or let's try some other stuff." In reality, I know I'm freaking guilty. Be honest with you, there's no sense in me trying to BS nobody. I mean, I did it. But you know, if you suggest I talk to an attorney before I admit, then that's what I'll do.
You do have the right to enter a valid waiver of an attorney. I don't recommend it, Mr. Bowen, but you do have the right to. You could waive an attorney.
Yes, sir.
We're in Kansas.
No,
I don't recommend you do that, but you do have the right to knowingly waive your right to legal counsel, and you do understand that if you can't afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I understand that. Yes, sir.
Well, my inclination today, Mr. Bowen, is to enter not guilty pleas on both cases.
Yes, sir.
Consider appointment of counsel. You don't have the financial resources to hire a lawyer?
Not really, Your Honor. Not really.
Is your only income disability?
Yes, sir.
All right, I think I would qualify you for a court-appointed lawyer then.
Okay. The prosecutor is the.
And I will appoint
Mr.
Darren Patterson
Riger
to represent Mr. Bowen.
in the top right-hand corner, and he's taking notes.
Okay.
I did it, Your Honor.
You got a $2,000 cash or surety bond on one case. You can't make that bond?
At the end of the month, I could, Your Honor. At the end of the month, yes, sir. But right now, no, because I paid up everything. And so
where do you live, Mr. Bowen?
I live in Wichita, Kansas, 5860 North Wichita.
Is that place still available to you?
Yes, yes, sir. It is. Yes, sir. It is still available. Yes, sir.
And who would live there with you?
My girlfriend is living there with me at the present time, Your Honor.
She makes sure you get reminded that you have court dates?
She will. She will do that. She will do that.
You forgot about that last one. You know, you cleared your mind of it. And I don't want that to happen anymore.
No, sir. No, sir. That's why I said if I get an OR bond, I can promise you on everything that I love that I will be here for that court date. I will not miss that court date. I promise you on everything that I love, I will be here to do that, Your Honor.
It's just that after 20 years on the bench, Mr. Bowen, I've heard every promise
I'm sure you probably have
possibly make about how they swear they're going to be there in court.
But I'm too old. I'm too old to do all that other stuff, Your Honor. I'm too old for that. If I give you my word, I give you my word as a man. I'm gonna do that. If I give you my word as a man, I'm gonna do that.
I want to hear from the prosecuting attorney here, Mr. Revere. He's made a request for OR bonds on these cases. Your thoughts?
Well, Your Honor, to be entirely honest, as far as the 24 TR 1087 case is concerned, it would appear that cash or surety bond was previously ordered per the court's accurate recalling on the record. So it's far be it from me to recommend overturning the order of a sitting judge. Insofar as the 1914 case is concerned, it is the state's understanding that this defendant does have a quite prolific history of failing to appear 11 times by my count, as well as prior convictions that the court may consider relevant: speeding, no valid driver's license, 6 no proof of insurance, 14 driving while suspended, habitual violator, transporting open container, and 6 non-traffic related felonies, including burglary and theft.
What?
What?
Mr. Bowen, I'm going to go ahead and leave the order that Judge Webster made in the 1087 case intact. Bond was previously established by that judge at $2,000 cash or professional surety. I will leave that order in place. Regarding your new case, Mr. Bowen, this court will establish a $1,000 OR bond on that case. If you make the bond for Judge Webster, I'm going to give you an OR bond on your new case, because I'm going to be leaving these cases together for further handling, at least for now. And these cases, pursuant to the court entering not guilty pleas as to each one of these cases, I'll set it on Judge Lee's expedited a misdemeanor control docket for August 2nd, 1:30 p.m. Mr. Bowen, if you're able to make these bonds,
How much do I?
you'll need to fully participate by Zoom in Judge Lee's docket at that time. In fact, Mr. Bowen, I think under the circumstances, I'm going to have you come to the Butler County Judicial Center in El Dorado, Kansas, to participate from there. So you'll need to check in prior to your court date at 1:30 here in El Dorado, so that you can be ready for court starting at 1:30. Okay, Mr. Bowen, any questions about that?
Yes, sir. What is my prior criminal history as far as burglary have to do with this traffic?
The failure to appear criminal history is what the court's most concerned about right now, Mr.
Yeah,
Bowen.
but he mentioned burglary, which has nothing to do with traffic.
All right. The court has disregarded that because, quite frankly, when it comes to setting your bond, I don't think it's particularly relevant.
Disregard. Well, he made mention of it, so now it's in your head. You're going to disregard it, but it's anyway. Yes, sir. Okay, I'll go along with whatever you say, Your Honor. Yes, sir.
So you have an OR bond in the new case, but the
Yes, sir.
$2,000 cash or surety bond remains in the old case that you failed to appear on.
So how much do I need, Your Honor? Can you?
Well, usually there's a 10% fee charged by bondsman, but that's between you and them. I don't establish that.
Okay.
All
right.
That gives you an idea. Good luck, Mr. Bowen. I hope you're able to make the bonds. Just remember that you need to appear in El Dorado.
I can't just pay the fine?
Huh?
I can't just pay the fine?
Well, some of these carry jail time as well. You understand that, Mr. Bowen?
Oh.
Some of these charges potentially involve either controlling or actual jail sentence possibility. That's why I think you should talk to an attorney about it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Thank
And
you.
Your,
Thank you.
and Your Honor, does the court consider Mr. Patterson appointed in both these cases?
He is.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Jay Reynolds, thanks for gifting 20 memberships. Amazing. Thank you so much. Lori T.
Is that all, Your Honor?
Happy
That's
birthday.
Thank
Happy
you,
birthday,
sir.
Lori. Just scrolling down the list to see who got gifted memberships. All good people here.
All right. I have an individual seated at court security 1. Who is that individual?
It's Brandon Craig.
I'll take up that case next. State of Kansas versus Brandon David Craig. Case number 2021 CR 417. Brandon Craig appears at a Judicial Center Zoom location. Jared Regier appears on behalf of the state. Craig, you're apparently picked up on an active arrest warrant.
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't have your bond form readily before me, but apparently was the bond set at $3,500 cash or surety. You apparently made that bond.
Through a bond service, yes, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm. Have you received a copy of your charging document?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have that before you now?
Yes.
Count 1 is possession of cocaine, a level 5 drug felony. Count 2, criminal damage to property, a level 9 non-person felony. Count 3, battery against a law enforcement officer, a Class A misdemeanor. Count 4, driving under the influence, a Class B misdemeanor. Count 5, possession of marijuana, a Class B misdemeanor. Count 6, possession of paraphernalia for use, a Class B misdemeanor. And count 7, reckless driving, an unclassified misdemeanor. Felonies are involved. You will not be asked to plead at this time. Rather, a preliminary hearing scheduling will be made before your assigned judge, which is the Honorable Charles M. Hart. Judge Hart's next docket for that purpose would be October the 15th, 2024, 2:30 p.m. You must plan to fully participate in Judge Hart's docket at that time. October 15th, 2024, 2:30 p.m. Mr. Craig, can you afford to hire your own lawyer?
No, Your Honor.
And why is that? Aren't you working?
I am working just between rent, bills, and paying for this. It set me back quite a bit.
Plenary, thanks for gifting 5
We'll
memberships.
appoint a lawyer to represent Brandon Craig's interest, James Watts will be appointed.
I appreciate that, Your Honor.
And
Kansas has some
Mr.
wild
Regier,
ones
do you
here.
have information regarding the bondsman on this bond?
Your Honor, I am looking at the bond in this case. It would appear that a second chance is listed as the bondsman with a $3,500 professional surety amount with all standard conditions.
All right. The court will leave that bond in effect. Mr. Craig, do your appearance here today. You just need to make sure that you appear on time for all scheduled court dates in Judge Hart's court. Okay?
Okay, Your Honor.
Mr. Regier, anything further we need to address regarding Brandon Craig?
Your Honor, I'm not sure if the court wants to make any specific orders concerning the consumption of alcohol or operating a vehicle. It is the state's understanding that at least one of the charges is a DUI. Additionally, paragraph 6 of the affidavit would appear to refer to an alleged incident where the vehicle almost struck a pedestrian before striking a curb within El Dorado city limits.
All right, as a condition of your bond, Mr. Craig, you can only drive a vehicle if you are legal in all material respects to do so. Furthermore, I think that in light of the charges currently pending, the court will make a specific order that you're not to consume alcohol or ingest any type of illegal drug as a specific condition of your bond. Any questions about that, Mr. Craig?
So what does that all entail, Your Honor?
No drinking.
Does that mean just to abstain until then, or do I need
Yes,
to?
that's what it means. Abstain
Okay,
from
that's-
alcohol and drugs.
Okay.
All right. And furthermore, you can't drive unless you have driving privileges through your license, properly insured, vehicle registered, everything has to be in compliance. All right.
Okay, Your Honor.
Very well. Do you remember that court date, Mr. Craig?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is it?
October 15th, 2024
What time?
at 2:30 p.m.
Okay. And remember, you have to fully participate at that time.
Pop quiz
Okay.
from the judge, and he passed it.
All right, then if there's nothing further regarding Brandon Craig at this time, that matter will be in recess, and I'll move on to another matter.
Judge, that's all the people I have here.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
I have one more case on this docket scheduled. It's State of Kansas versus Matthew Dean Warren. It's case number 2024 CR 292. Again, Mr. Regier appears on behalf of the state. I don't see a participant of Matthew Warren. Let me determine why that was, this case was expected to be on this docket. A summons was issued. There was mailing to copy the defendant's last known address, residential service and notification. Apparently, Mr. Warren either didn't receive it or hasn't paid particular attention to it. There is a felony theft charge involved here. This is Judge Hart's case. I would suggest that the county attorney's office prepare an active arrest warrant for Mr. Warren. The assigned judge, Judge Hart, when it's submitted to his queue, can set an appropriate amount of bond.
Very good, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Regier, are you aware of any other matter that needs to be addressed on this docket at this time?
Not to my knowledge, Your Honor.
Thank you for your participation today, Mr. Regier. If there's nothing further, that concludes the Butler County first appearance docket at this time.
They're done. I love Mr. Regier. He reminds me of Data from Star Trek. He is completely like an android computer. His precision, his detail, he sees everything, he remembers everything. All data is available to him as just, one moment. Let me check my data banks, and he has it all. He is absolutely amazing. He keeps the court in order. If the judge forgets to do something, like make a specific finding, he will, Your Honor, does the court wish to? He'll do a little friendly reminder. It is so cool. And the other guy, what is it? Starts with a C. He's great as well. Same courtroom. All right, Susie, welcome. Take your seat. Welcome. I bet he's a blast at the party. The guy's got some stories to tell. You know he's got some stories. Jennifer says, YouTube has turned on me. It never selects me for gifts anymore. It doesn't change my channel loyalty or viewership, just a noticeable change. Did you say something bad about them on social media or something, Jennifer? Make sure you checked your gift setting. Make sure the slider has moved, the button's been moved over to the right. But I wonder if you tickled him, he would laugh. I think he's very knowledgeable. He's very knowledgeable. He's very detail oriented. He's everything you want in a prosecutor. He doesn't have he doesn't get emotionally invested in the case. This is what it is. This is just the facts. We're pursuing justice. This is the facts, and presents things to the court. Often, just leaves it up to the court's discretion, and I love it. Absolutely love it. All right, let's see. We have Judge Boyd may be back. Let's see if we can get to Judge Boyd. I think she is.
Michelle Davis. And counsel, your excuse. I'll take this matter up, and then y'all come back and let me know when you're ready. Miss Davis, come up. And Miss Davis, you're in the center, and defense.
Which side here?
You're on this side. No, I'm sorry. Yes, you are. You're on this side.
Any side you like.
No. In my mind, I have to think what the deputies wanted. And so the deputies do want you on this side.
Okay.
We used to have defense attorneys on this side, but then for security reasons, the deputy asked that you all be moved on this side. It's been a long week for me, even though it's just Monday. The weekend was very long for me. All right, the court is calling 2023 CR 8542, State of Texas versus Michelle Davis. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Michelle Barber for the state.
Defense.
Jose Rocha for Michelle Davis, and we're ready, Your Honor.
All right, and are you Miss Davis? Counsel, have you received all of the discovery?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you review it with your client?
We have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Davis, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We're waiving count 1, Your Honor, and proceeding on count 2, which is a state jail felony theft.
Okay.
That's our understanding.
Felony theft.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
It's quite yellow. It's a very bright
All
jacket.
right. Did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Did you understand in count 2 you're charged with the offense of theft $2,500 but less than $30,000?
Yes.
All right. That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days and up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
They're not messing
If you have a
around in
plea with the
Texas.
state, court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
All right. Did you understand you have a right to jury trial?
Yes,
A
ma'am.
right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this agreement you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Excuse me, 1 moment. Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Davis, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promise you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count 2. There's a $2,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's to be restitution of $7,200 to Monticello Custom Homes LP. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the
Yes,
plea?
Your Honor.
State, is that the plea? Did you review the document entitled Waiver of Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 4 years. Did you understand that's a recommendation from the state and the court does not have to follow that recommendation?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to count 2 in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? I'm sorry?
Guilty.
State, any evidence?
Whoa, a little bit of attitude there.
Did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial?
Yes, ma'am.
A right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Now the judge reads basically what they say she did. This is evidence. If it meets the standard, she's going to find her guilty. Because she's pled guilty, but she needs to make sure the evidence there supports that as well. No contest saves you from potential criminal culpability in some cases, but as far as punishment goes, it's the same punishment. She's like, guilty. I'm like, oh, okay, wow, we heard you. Second time. This is the longest I've seen her read something in a long while. I wonder what the story was here. Maybe we'll get some more details. $25,000.
All right. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we have reached an agreement on this case, Your Honor. My client, after reviewing all the facts, decided that she would want to move forward with a plea. She understands what's at stake here, and I know that she's going to be successful in completing this deferred adjudication, Your Honor.
All right. Do you have any children?
Adults.
All right. Are you employed?
I can't work. I'm disabled.
And what's your disability?
A whole list of them, a bunch of autoimmune disorders, slow scoliosis, spinal disorders, undifferentiated connective tissue disease, bunch of arthritises. I have a whole slew of disorders. They're listed in the paperwork.
All right. So
Your
when did
Honor,
this occur?
I do have documentation that I was provided by my client regarding that if the court were like.
No, I'm just wondering, when did this disorder occur? Did these disorders occur before or after this offense? Or did they?
Before, I was actually on Social Security for mental disabilities and tried getting off, went to college and tried working, and apparently didn't go so well. And I had undiagnosed autoimmune disorders that were affecting me mentally, bodily, and I had emergency spine surgery actually right after that position. It was affecting my body, and then I just had all sorts of messed up stuff going on, Your Honor.
So are you currently receiving SSI?
I'm working to get there. I also didn't have insurance for a while. And so that's what I'm working towards now because I've been disabled for a long time. I had a doctor actually during this time frame diagnosed me with one disability and one autoimmune disorder and didn't tell me. And I had autoimmune disorders before that went undiagnosed, and it's been a hayride since then. So I'm getting all of that taken care of now, getting all my X's and crosses off the box so that I can get on disability. My next stop is neurology, and then back to the neurosurgeon. But I'm going to apply now because there's some extenuating circumstances with recently being cheated on, and so I have no income now and all sorts of other fun stuff.
All right. So how do you support yourself?
Working on that now. My mom lives with me and I take care of her. She's a heart transplant recipient, and so that's the income in the house right now.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot going on right now.
Oh, yes, it is a lot. But how are you taking care of your mom?
She's a heart transplant recipient and she's bedridden, and so I change her diaper, feed her, run her on her doctor's appointments and errands as best I can. And my son, who's mentally handicapped, he's got DID, bipolar, and so I keep his friends in his head in check because I'm a psych major. So I help him, and then he helps me around the house and helps with my mom. We kind of have a triangle thing going.
All right. So what I can tell you is people who are on probation in my court, I don't allow them to be home health care providers.
Well, I'm not her physical, technical home health provider, but I mean, I'm her only help, like unofficial help. She lives with me, and I mean, I have to take care of her. She's my mom. I'm her only person. That's why I'm doing this instead of going to trial.
I mean, no, here's the thing. If you want a jury trial, you can. But let me just explain something to you. What I've read in the stipulations is that you admitted to the owners of taking the money.
And I only did that under duress because they locked me in a room and would not.
Oh, well, here's the thing. If you want a jury trial,
I don't, ma'am.
Because
I don't.
All right, let me explain something to you. Because what I read in the stipulations is money went to Green Dot Bank account.
And it's not. It's a Stash card. I had a bank, a regular bank, which is Techstar Bank, and then I had a Stash account, which I actually had. What do you call it? You could even do. Sorry, I get brain fog because of all the autoimmune, but it was an actual bank card, and I didn't know it was Green Dot or whatever. It's actually owned by another company now, but it's actual a bank. And
all right, so here's the thing. Monticello Homes, that organization, the people who work for that organization and own it, they say that $800 was going into TxDOT, whatever card, but it wasn't their card. It wasn't for their employee. It wasn't for anything associated with them. It was associated with you, and it was going in your account. Now, if you're telling the court that you did not steal the $800 several times to total $7,200, then we can set it for jury trial, because what they're saying is
they're saying I did a whole lot of stuff.
Well, let me just tell you, the 4 transactions were done in the same manner. They say on July 19th, 2019, it was for $900. On August 2nd, 2019, it was for $2,000. On August 16th, 2019, it was $1,500. On August 30th, 2019, it was for $2,000. That's what they're saying. And they say those transactions were above what you would have been paid. And they said that it went to your account. And the person who's saying that it went to your account was Gregory Martin, who I guess is their financial person. And when he was looking at the billing, that he noticed discrepancies, and that discrepancy went to you. It went to your account. Now, if you're saying that you didn't steal this, then guess what? We can set it for a jury trial.
I don't trust people enough.
And it says here that you signed a statement saying that you overpaid yourself $7,200 and that you're going to pay it back.
How would you feel if 5 men took you from your office, locked you in the back of an office and wouldn't let you leave, wouldn't let you make a phone call, and wouldn't let you do anything until you signed a paper?
Mm-hmm. Well, what I can tell you is I wasn't there at the time, so I don't know if that occurred or not. What I do know is there's $7,200, and what I'm reading in the stipulations is that $7,200 went to your account.
Right, and I'm saying this is why I don't want to have a jury. I don't trust the judgment of people and peers in a jury because, one, they don't want to be there. Two, I don't trust that enough people would understand office. I don't trust anything. I don't trust people. I have severe trust issues. This office, that place was a madhouse. They lied about a lot of things. I mean, I don't want to get into.
Oh no, go ahead.
I know, and that's
you
what I'm
tell
saying.
me.
I used to have to pay the lawyer there for the legal stuff that guy in those offices did. I'm saying they made me give my password to Greg, made me leave my laptop there, which is the number one thing you don't do. I'm saying there's a lot of things that went on at that place that I can't account for. There's a lot of stuff in there that can and can't be explained that I could explain, but I don't trust a jury to understand that. People do not think for themselves anymore. People, unless there's a headline news that tells them what to think. I've been around way too many people. I used to have thousands of employees that I used to hire and recruit myself. I'm sorry, I don't trust a jury to make I just don't. And even as the money, I was telling him I used to have to retype everything in. One of the gals, Donna, she used to sit there with me half the time. I was working 90 plus hours a week. I would be there at 3 o'clock in the morning and I wouldn't leave until 10 o'clock at night. And then some longer. I was working the management of that. I ran that whole place. I don't even know what was up or what was down at that time. I'm just saying the reason I'm doing the plea is because I need to be there at home to care for people. And I can't chance anything. I can't take any chances of going to jail or doing anything. I'm taking this plea because I need to be there for my family because they don't have anybody else. My mom has nobody else. My grandma was horrible to my mom. I mean, downright abusive to her. And that's why I took my grandma away. Like, she got sick. I was taking care of my grandma at her house and taking care of my mom at my house. The VA was trying to kill my mom during this fiasco of this last year. I'm just trying to keep things together. And I'm sick myself. I can't even clean my house. My house, when we moved, it's still not even together. I'm sorry, I just can't chance it, and I refuse to chance it. I don't trust people. I just don't. That's why I'm doing this, and I'm so sorry.
No, I mean, there's no need to apologize to me. I want to hear you because I'm the person who sets conditions, and I need to see what's going on.
I'm so sorry for crying. There's a lot going on. It's been trash for the past year, and none of it's been my fault. It's just been crap, like out of my control. And I've been very emotional. And it's been since I left there, everything just went to crap. I had this surgery and it set off all the autoimmune, and my body has just been crashing. My whole life has been go, 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 eaten up by work and jobs. And now I can't do anything. And it feels like my identity is gone. I don't, and I know they're mad because after I left, they couldn't run anything. And I ran everything for them. They didn't know how to do anything after I left. So I know that they were mad. And I'm sorry about that too.
And Your Honor, we had an opportunity.
Just hearing what's going on here.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no. No need to apologize.
Navy nuke engineer. And he just barely got home this week. And I mean, I was worried about him for so long during all this time too. Like he was out overseas and like, I don't know. He just got home today. So I'm so excited for that. I'm stuck here. I'm sorry. So I'm just like, my husband cheated on me and then took all the money and like promised to help take care of. We were almost homeless during this time when my mom kept dying, like almost dying after like I can't take any chances. I have to be there for my mom. She almost died like 3 times in the within 4 different months. No one can take care of her and advocate for her like I can.
You're about to see some epic Judge
I mean,
Boyd.
it's bad when you have to bypass the VA system just to get her into a better hospital because they're standing there saying colonoscopy, colonoscopy, and I'm like, no, hematology, hematology. And guess what? This hematology she needed. I'm sorry.
No need to apologize. I'm just listening, trying to figure out what conditions would be appropriate for you. Is there anything else you wanted to tell me? Now is your time to talk to me.
She has a statement.
I'm gonna give her my list of meds.
All right, the list of medications,
Oh,
those will go to probation.
I mean,
yeah.
My doctors, I used to see the same doctor way back in 2010 and 2013, and even she was writing me out of work because my body couldn't handle it. That was even before I knew I had anything wrong. My body would work, I would work, and it would get so stressed out. And she would write me out for a week, and then I'd go to work, then it would be 2 weeks, and then 3 weeks. So this has been going on for a long time. And I have those doctor's notes, and then I've got doctor's notes from 2014, 2018, so when I went back to her, she recommended that I try medical marijuana because unfortunately with all the conditions I have, I get twitches and Charlie horses and spasms that last for minutes that leave me like unwalkable. My limbs give out, my arms start to fling, and as you can see, I get twitches. And so unfortunately, I have tried marijuana, and I know you don't say that in court because that's just not the thing you say, but I'm ashamed of it, but it has helped. So she recommended I go and get a legal license, and she recommended a place, and unfortunately they illegal advertised. They were like, yes, online it's $100. So they did the text thing, and then they said, oh no, it's $250 and $200 and $300 for this. I was like, that's false advertising, I'm not going there, and I gave up on it. So I found another place because she said I really, really need it because the medicine I've far exceeded the max doses on everything that she can give. And so she told me to do that. So I did that on Friday, and she wrote me a note because I can't do anything. I can't work. I said I can't even clean my house. So we've got that, and then they should try to get all of my diagnosis on here from the different doctors, and I don't know what you can do with me either. I already feel like crap. So hit me with yours. I don't know.
So here's my question. How is she paying back First of all,
Because
there's an agreement of,
on.
just one second. First of all, a part of the plea agreement is $7,200. How are you planning on paying that back?
Because I am going on Social Security soon. I know I'll be able to get that. My family has agreed to help in any way they can. And
All right, and which family members?
I've got family in Houston that's agreed to help. My son that's in the Navy, he might help, but I mean, I've got 4 years to figure it out. But like I said, I was on Social Security before, so I know I'll be able to get back on it. And out of the 26 rows of disorders that I have, there's 15 of them that automatically one alone will qualify me for Social Security. So.
All right, I still don't think it's appropriate for her to be taking, I don't understand how she's able to take care of her mother when she has all of these medical issues herself. I don't understand how she's saying she's changing diapers, she's taking her to medical appointments, she is telling doctors she's being diagnosed, and she's given the diagnosis herself for her mom. I don't understand how that's taking place. And then
because
I'm being told that she has all these medical conditions. She's on all of these medications.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And she's taking care of, I guess, her son as well.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Yes.
No problem.
I have discussed this with District Attorney's office, and I also discussed this with my client to just get around everything that's going on in her life, in addition to what happened in the underlying case, and how are we going to move forward in the future. So what does happen is some of these medications do control these issues for certain times. And during those times that are being controlled, she is helping out her mother. She's trying to do the best she can with what she has. Now, she is going through a very stressful situation. She does have a mental health diagnosis, several. And right now, she's going to the doctor and having some of these issues resolved through medication. Some of them are through therapy. Some of them are through self-care. And again, these documents that she was holding earlier, which are related to the miracle marijuana and all the other diagnoses and medications, were for the benefit of the court. And I had share those with the district attorney's office. We did go back and forth to see what would be something that she would be able to do, given the fact that she does have some limitations, Your Honor. And we ask you to take that into consideration as well.
If I may interject, the problem is with autoimmune disorders and connective tissue disorders is overexerting my body, and that's the issue with like working and being outside and doing too much. So the thing is I rest, and my mom's appointments we set up staggering. We don't she doesn't have a lot of appointments, and my son also helps. Like I said, he has mental disorders, but he can still help me get her to the car, or roll her out, or help me get her into the wheelchair thing. And she stands for me to change her, so all I have to do is wipe her and pull her diaper up. So those few things are not as exerting as going to work and working. And the problem with working is I have nerve damage and stuff and I can't keep my hands up above, and I can't type anymore. I can't have my arms up above my head. There's a lot of disabilities, things that impede and that sort of thing. It's overexertion with autoimmune and nerve damage. Taking care of my mother is a completely different situation than what you're talking about, full-time caring for someone. Like, I used to be a CNA, and that's completely different. I understand what you're saying, caring for a full-fledged person that is completely laying in a bed and has to be cared for 24/7 like you were a CNA in a nursing home. That is not the case with my mom.
My concern is I don't have anybody who's on probation in this court acting as a healthcare provider. Now, what do I mean by that? One of the things I mean by that is people will just have their relatives who are getting their SSI, and guess what? They go live with them and they get to receive money from
No.
being with them and taking care of them, or either they're living off that person's SSI, and that's not right.
No, that's not the case. She's been living with me. It's only just now that the circumstances have changed, and that's only due to love we have.
Going through the divorce, Your Honor. And I was appointed by this court as she was, she qualified as being indigent. And so those documents are there from the time that this case started. But to today, she's going through a lot of other personal matters that
Just
she's just telling you.
State,
right
do you
now.
want to speak to her taking care of her mother and taking care of her son and all of these other people who are in this household? It's sounding very chaotic to the court. And I don't know how that chaos is going to translate into her being successful in probation.
But that's been my life.
I don't have any independent information regarding any of that. Listening to this, and it sounds like, I don't know what to make of it, because it sounds like there's a number of different responsibilities that sound pretty hefty and serious. And then at the same time, there's an argument that she's incapable of doing anything with this case. So it seems like it's hard to believe that both are possible at the same time. So we do have a concern, and we would ask maybe that probation could look into it a little bit more and make a determination. But I know that the restitution is still due. I can speak to the information that she gave about the case specifically and the facts. We brought in the complainants in this case. We actually had a conference room full of people that worked in the office with her. I feel very confident in the facts of the case, and I have no reason to believe anything was misrepresented to me. And objectively, we have money under her watch being padded into her payroll, and for her putting that into her personal account, and also the wariness that she had to turn in payroll and then go back and adjust it afterwards so that it wouldn't raise flags. So there was definitely some intent behind all of this. There was a higher level of thinking and planning with it, and that is what I do.
All right, so this thing where he's telling me she worked from 3 a.m. till all hours of the night by herself?
We don't have any information of that. That's not what was relayed to me. It sounded like a normal office environment that anybody else would have generally, and that she was responsible for limited responsibilities, which would be common for her position that she had. And there was a room full of people, so I can't speak any further than what I know.
And Your Honor, I did discuss these matters with my client and the pros and cons of going to trial. And we did have extensive conversations about how to proceed. And it was her decision to come in today and take responsibility for this and go on to 4 years deferred adjudication probation.
All right, probation.
Yes, Judge.
I think you've heard everything that's going on up here.
Yes, Judge.
So what does she need? I don't know what we can do for her.
My house is not chaotic, it's calm. It just
Let's see what they have to say.
Judge, once the
whenever someone's granted probation, we have to go through different assessments just on a supervision level. And I think out of one of the assessments that we are mandated to do, it could give us a little bit more information to give you clear direction on what else should be done.
Your Honor, it seems to me that
Just 1 second.
We need to do.
I'm sorry.
Just 1 second. Yes, probation.
We need to do the risk assessment.
Okay.
For a fact, and that could give us the level in which she should be supervised.
And that was what I was going to be suggesting, Your Honor. I believe that maybe perhaps that would give a better picture to
All
the
right, just one second.
to the court.
Anything else, probation?
I would say that maybe, I know there probably had been some competency issues, or we would ask that we do a mental health evaluation on our part to see if she would fit into that supervision as well.
Mhm. All right, thank you. This is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 4 years deferred adjudication. There's to be restitution of $7,200 and no contact with Monticello Custom Homes LP. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, a MIC evaluation, field visits 1 time per month until further notice, and see if probation can check on the occupants of the home and determine how many occupants are actually in the home. And then do the risk assessment for supervision. There's to be no employment related to accounting or any type of money changing hands. You're not allowed to be a cashier. You're not allowed to work with money at all. Do you understand?
I can't wait to
understand.
Yes, ma'am.
There's to be proof of employment or SSI. Please put on your listening ears. Listen to what I'm saying. There's to be proof of employment or SSI within 45 days. And again, no employment as a home health care provider with minors or any employment as previously stated relating to accounting, cashier jobs, any job that's related to exchanging monies where she's in a position to handle funds.
Wow.
There's to be 100 hours of community service restitution. If for some reason she's unable to do the community service hours, she'll need to provide a letter or proof from a doctor that she can't do any type of community service hours. And there's going to be the theft course.
That's not a how-to. That's a what not
And
to do.
there's a $2,000 fine, and that will be probated. Probation, is there anything else she needs? Okay. Is there anything else you need from the court?
No, ma'am.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We can go off the record. In this court, to be successful on probation, communication is key. If there are any issues, let your probation officer know. If you feel as though the probation officer is not addressing those issues, you can always come back to court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Anything else you need?
No, ma'am.
All right. Make sure you give those documentation and sign a release of medical information for probation. Okay. All right. Thank you.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes. All right. Are you all ready on Mr. Sanchez?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. We're going to go back on the record in 2022 CR 10642, Jose Sanchez. All right, so where we were is whether or not the state is objecting to the removal of the GPS. And state, you're objecting to removal?
Correct. She got the
All
deal.
right. And what is his criminal history? Is there anything in his criminal history other than the deadly conduct firearm that was in the
The only other assaultive things, Your Honor, I mean, his history was drugs and theft type things other than what you mentioned with the deadly conduct firearm. And then he has priors that include family violence assaults. He has 2 that resulted in convictions on his record. He has one in, I believe, 2003. And I believe the other one was, and Mr. Edelman can correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was 2014 or 13, something like that. 13. So those
misdemeanor assaults?
The first one was a misdemeanor. The second one started because it was a family second and he had the prior conviction. It started as a felony.
Okay, you need
and
to
it
slow down so the court reporter can keep up.
It started as a felony and then it ended up as a misdemeanor. So,
and when I say so the court reporter can keep up, she was keeping up, but why would we make her job more difficult than it needs to be? So
I will talk slower.
Thank you. So 2 assault cases. One was the misdemeanor.
One was a misdemeanor, the other one started off as a family second, and then it got reduced to a misdemeanor as well.
Okay. All right.
Your Honor, may I add a bit more information?
Yes.
Not the assaults that concern me so much as Mr. Sanchez's compliance on pretrial supervision in his evading arrest with a vehicle. When he was released on bond, he eventually accrued 4 pretrial violations that resulted in a bond increase, which became somewhat irrelevant when he failed to appear for his trial date. On his most recent case, he had a bond for which his principal asked to be released from it because he did not comply with his bond agreement and stopped reporting to the bonds.
Okay. And if I may speak to that, Your Honor, first of all, I think the evading arrest that Mr. Edelman was speaking of, obviously those cases occurred when he ended up on his parole, and then he was on parole. The current one, it's my understanding that it wasn't that he wasn't, and I don't know what the bondsman may have put on there, but he was compliant in the sense that he ended up in custody. And I think that was why he ended up going off the bond, was that he ended up in custody with the parole hold. I will also say that since being on bond, he actually wanted me to mention to thank the court because part of his release on bond included the court sending him to lifetime recovery. He successfully completed lifetime recovery, and he believes that now he is really on a track for the first time in his life, although he went through all of these other types of probation and parole, but there was not a program that he felt helped him as much as the lifetime recovery program. And now he is trying to very much so step up even with his children. There are children that, as the court heard, there are older children that have really struggled because they haven't had a father in his life because he's been in and out of the legal system. He is now even seeking out to help a couple of those older boys as much as he can with some of the stuff they're going through and using funds from his job to try to do that. So really, and if you look at how he's been doing on his pretrial for this case, after successfully completing that program, I don't believe he's had any violations. He said that there's been a couple times because of work or his ride getting home, he has ended up slightly late, but barely with his monitor. And every UA has been clean. And he very much so wants the chance to just be, for the first time in his life, a productive individual and a father that he feels like he hasn't been able to be until now.
This is the sort of lawyer that Sarah Boone's looking for.
This is what the court is going to do. As previously stated, the court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 5 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 5 years. There's a $1,500 fine that will be probated. 150 hours community service restitution. The court is going to require parenting classes. Once you complete parenting classes, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There are going to be field visits 1 time per month for 4 months. And I will do GPS partial for work. for 2 months. And then tracking only for 1 month. And after that 3.3-month time period, if there are no violations, let probation know, and probation will let me know, and I'll remove the GPS.
Sounds like he's got his act in order, or at least he's getting things organized.
Probation, there is to be regular random UAs. And probation, is there anything else he needs?
Switch this monitor to a probation monitor.
All right, so here's the thing. Probation monitor. I can't waive fees. I can sit up here and say I'm going to waive fees, but it's not going to be waived because it's a third-party contract and I can't make them waive it. Otherwise, you can end up with a GPS, but it'll be the GPS that you have to pick up at the jail. That one, fees can be waived. But with that one, if they give you a time schedule and an appointment, you've got to be there at that time schedule and that appointment. If you miss that appointment, what's going to happen? You're not going to have a GPS device and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. So normally GPS is $300 a month, I think. The one at the jail, I can ask that the fees be waived on that one, but you need to make sure you make that appointment. If you don't make that appointment, there's like no excuses, right? All right, so I'll give him, because he needs to make a schedule with the jail probation. Is that correct? Can we do that?
I just let him know. I mean, you just tell me when he has to be there.
All right, so what we'll do then, because they're going to want that monitor back very quickly. What's your work schedule?
My work schedule usually is from 7 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon, but if you, whatever.
No, I mean, what days? Is it Monday through Friday?
Monday through Saturday. But my boss he'll work with me.
All right, well, since you were here today, Friday, is that okay, probation, or Friday?
Friday.
What time on Friday?
Can you get to probation by the jail?
Yeah, I can be there in the morning, you can go in the afternoon, whatever time.
Oh, what time are they open?
You can go like at 6 a.m., right?
I think
8 o'clock in the morning.
He's
yeah,
going for the freebie GPS.
all right, so then if you get there at 8 o'clock, you'll probably be the first one and you'll be able to have some time at work.
It will take about 3 hours for install.
All right.
Their address?
The probation will give you the address. So you'll need to have the GPS exchanged on Friday, July 26th by 8 a.m. And I say by 8 a.m. You just need to be there at 8 a.m. for the appointment. And I'll ask that the fees be waived. All right, you're welcome. Yes.
Wasn't asked a question about the mental health that you sent me to.
Mhm.
They gave me a diagnosis, and I was wondering if there's a way I could get some type of information from them because my wife wants me to.
Sure. Was it through the Center for Healthcare Services? All right, I'll refer you back to the Center for Healthcare Services, and they should still be able to help you. If not, just let probation know. And if they're not doing it, just come back to me. Okay.
Thank you.
So we'll continue with the referral to Center for Healthcare Services. Is there anything else you need from the court? Probation, is there anything else?
Okay.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because you waive your right to appeal, and because I followed your agreement, you do.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello? It's a computer. They hung up. It's a computer. Sorry. Try to prank call.
That my mother always said to us, and that my grandmother always said to them. I love you, but I'm not going to jail or prison for you. And that's what your mom said at that's what my inside chuckle for, because it was bringing back memories with my mom saying, I love you, but I'm not going to prison for you. I'm not going to jail for you. So I admire your mother for showing up and saying, I'm not going to jail for you. So, and don't ask your mom to do that, okay? All right, good luck to you. And thank you so much for dressing appropriately for court. And if you complete everything early, come back, but do not come back to court before at least 2 years have expired. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank
And
you, Judge.
probation will go over conditions with you.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge. Have a good day. May I be excused?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, while we break from that, there's a new judge, or a younger judge that I have not watched anything from, up in Thurston County, Washington, that was active today. I want to just go back and see what she's like. Just we haven't seen this before, so let's.
Please rise. Thurston County District Court is now in session. Pro Tem Shoemaker preside.
Good morning. You may be seated.
I've not seen her.
Good morning.
Tommy looks familiar. The judge does.
1 second. I'm going to adjust my computer screen.
She's got a whole console up there. She's working.
All right. Good morning. This is Thurston County District Court. Good morning, Mr. Sharp, Miss Langley.
Good morning, Your Honor.
This is City of Lacey's docket. Do we have some matters that are ready?
I'll have to defer to defense there. I think Mr. Swenson might be in a breakout room.
All right. Miss Langley.
Judge is trying to get comfy.
What's your name, sir, in the courtroom? Deason is your last name? D-I-C-K-D-I-I? Okay, it's got 2 on here. Emil Jacorden? Okay. So Mr. Dixon is here in the courtroom. I know we had Miss Langley a moment ago. All right. Did you get a chance to talk to Miss Langley? Okay.
We're up in the city of Lacey, Washington.
Nobody can hear me. That's why no one hears me. Okay, Your Honor, thank you. Sorry, I was muted. As to Mr. Dixon, I think
Let's
the
have
city.
him come on up. Come on, sir.
The city has the completed SOC, which he has
Go ahead and
authorized.
have a seat.
So we can send that forward.
All right, Miss Langley, I'm sorry. I was talking to Mr. Dixon. He's now seated at council table. What did you say?
The city has, there should be in the system, a completed SOC form, which he has just approved. And so that's how we're going to proceed.
I'm not sure that I have that. I'll need a minute to look, I suppose.
Otherwise, I can send it back to you. Mr. McClellan sent it to me. So.
Langley's always a little bit hectic. Always making phone calls to one
I'm just
client
gonna forward this
representing
to you.
another. It's crazy. She's
Maybe
got
he
a
didn't put it in.
huge docket.
I wonder if you could send it to the clerk Heidi. Just to
Yeah, I
expedite.
will. I'll send it to both of you.
Mom of 10. That's awesome. Hope
Just
we
a
don't
minute,
ever
Mr.
see you
Dixon.
on
We're
here,
looking for your paperwork.
though. Heart 2. Sit in the driver's seat. No seatbelt. Hope he's not driving.
Do we know why we have his name with 2 eyes? Can we change it?
Does it have 2 eyes or no?
It doesn't.
Mr. Sharp, is there a way to amend the information for Mr. Dixon's last name? He is here saying it has 1 eye. It's showing up on my docket and in jobs with 2 eyes on the last name.
I'm looking into that, Your Honor. I mean, I can
Okay.
call him and
2
complain.
eyes are better than 1. Is that what
I
you're
don't know
saying?
I don't know if that triggers it. I'm not sure, but it's worth
I'm
a
not
try.
sure how that happened. Thank you for catching it. Yes, I'll submit an amended complaint with the correction here in just a minute.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. All right, Mr. Dixon, are you still at the 4910 127th Street Southwest?
No, I just.
Okay, can you update your address for us right now?
I've never seen somebody overshare as much as that lady did in Judge Boyd's court and have it still work out somewhat good for her. By work out good, she got the same deal the prosecutors offered. usually you end up talking yourself into jail. She shared a lot, so much that it seems like she's got a lot of things happening in her life that are terrible. But it sounds like in her case, that lady in yellow, the yellow little cardigan jacket thing, maybe felt entitled to the money. This is probably I'm just assuming the case went down. She was the office manager. She ran the show, and she just paid herself extra.
32nd Avenue South.
Yeah, we don't need all of this address here. Thanks.
984.
Thanks for the reminder on the mute, so I could cut out part of his
Or
address.
anything?
867-5309.
So just the street number is the. Okay.
So it's.
They're repeating it again.
All right, we'll update that. Do you have a new phone number?
No.
Okay, same phone number. And you're getting text message reminders for court?
I didn't get a text message.
Okay, so let's get that. Let's get your phone number. We'll put it in. You want text message reminders? It's really helpful. Okay, go ahead.
253-328.
867-5309.
Perfect. All right, any luck on the SOC?
I think I emailed it to both the clerk and to Mr. Sharp, so hopefully it has arrived.
I've received it, Your Honor, and I'll review it right now.
Okay.
Hopefully the clerk's able to get it to Your Honor more quickly than I could. I'm having
I
a
think
bit
she
of a
could
technical
probably
issue
just
with
print it out.
having a bit of an issue with that amended complaint. I wonder if the court would accept an oral amendment right now, and I'll follow up with writing after court when I can get the tech problem sorted out.
Sure. Yeah. So we'll note for the record in the docket that we're orally amending Mr. Dixon's last name to Dickson. And then we have not quite yet received the SOC. Sir, what's your name?
Jason Barrett.
Jason Barrett. You're here for
Lightning
court.
just exploded very
Barrett?
close by.
Herrick. Oh, P. Herrick.
I guess it just struck
Perrott. Mr. Herrick, you're here. Have you talked to Miss Langley, your attorney, yet this morning?
No, not
Okay, that's fine. She's online, so she'll either call you if she needs to talk to you before court. She can call you and you can step outside. So,
Matt uses that skin tone background. His skin tone background on his Zoom calls, just pale white. And then I think he's just got a bright light in front of him as well.
Miss Langley, who are you sending? Are you sending it specifically to our clerk? We don't have it. It's Heidi, right?
Yeah, I did.
Did you send it to Heidi or to just general district
I sent
court?
it to Heidi.
I forwarded it as well.
Okay.
So she might have
I
it for
said
me.
you're wrong. It's a big file, so it's been a little.
Okay. All right, she's going to print that out. All right, so Mr. Dixon, you had an opportunity to talk to your attorney, Miss Langley. All right, and this is a driving while license suspended 3rd degree. And so the way that you're asking the court to proceed today is by way of an SOC or a stipulated order of continuance. Is that correct? All right, and you understand what that means is that we're going to set this matter over for a period of time, and there's going to be certain conditions placed on you during that period of time. By setting this over, you're extending your speedy trial right, and you're also you're waiving your right to trial. So what you're saying is, if you comply with the conditions, you get the benefit of the bargain. If you don't comply with the conditions, you don't have a trial. Basically, the judicial officer is going to read the police report, determine if there's facts sufficient for the charge of driving a license suspended 3rd degree, and then would find you guilty of that charge. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you're waiving your right to trial. You're entering into a 12-month continuance. The conditions of the continuance are law-abiding behavior, no driving without license and insurance. You understand those conditions?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Yeah, I believe there's an additional term at the bottom under other there that he's to get relicensed within the scope of, or within the term of the SOC.
Oh, there is. Okay, it just says get licensed. Okay, so I'm going to say get licensed before end of SOC. So that means you're going to get your license in the next 12 months, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that if you don't get your license, then there would be a stipulated trial where the judge would read the police report.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you understand also that driving while license suspended carries a maximum penalty of 90 days in jail and $1,000 fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And we do have Mr. McClellan's signature, Ms. Langley's signature. I'm going to accept this. I'm going to have you just, can you come on up here to the bar and just sign this as well? This was sent to us via email, so it doesn't have your signature, but if we could get your signature on there, perfect. That would be great. So I'll accept that agreement as being made knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently after advice of counsel. Thank you very much, sir. I'm going to follow this agreement. I'm going to continue this matter for 12 months. All right, to 7/22/25, and I'm gonna put on here the same conditions: no driving without license and insurance, no new criminal law violations, and under other, I'm gonna put in here that you will obtain
Looks like he does work in the medical
valid
field somehow.
driver's license. All right, do I need to put another court date in here? I don't think so, okay. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and sign this. Since you're here today, sir, we can give you a copy of the judgment and sentence showing you what the terms and conditions are of this continuance.
Your Honor, that amended complaint with the correction of spelling is on its way to the clerk now.
Great, thank you. Okay, that should also be saved. Here's the SOC for filing. And we'll print you out a copy of your judgment and sentence, and I'll accept the complaint. Once that arrives, we can file that complaint amending the name. All right, that takes care of your matter. Mr. Dickerson, thank you very much. And you can come on up here. Have a great day. All right, Miss Langley.
You're muted.
You're on mute.
Wonderful. Okay. Who
We
did
do
you say
have
was in
someone in the courtroom. I don't know if you've talked to Mr. Perot, number 9 on the 9th.
Yeah, Your Honor, this is actually a post resolution hearing to it's a compliance hearing. I think it's called a pretrial, but it's not. So I don't know if he needs to talk to me or if he has proof of compliance.
Okay, we'll hold off on that. What do you have ready?
I don't have anything ready. I'm working on paperwork and talking to prosecutors. So,
Okay.
But who are the two folks that are just showing by their phone number?
I'll figure that out. If do you have Mr. Perot's number?
I might.
Sir, do you want to give us your number so Miss Langley can give you a call before?
Yeah.
All right, Miss Langley, we're going to give you his number.
Okay.
Oh, here, we can give you Miss Langley's number, sir.
Okay.
Tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, 360.
867 5309.
So I'll give her a call. Right?
Yeah, you can go step outside and give her a call. And then Miss Langley, I see Mr. Swenson, so we'll identify the other people and then we'll who's on the Samsung A146U phone? What's your name, sir?
It might be Mr. Harris.
I have a Samsung, but I'm for my
what's
video.
your
I
name?
think.
Yeah, I
Tori
see you.
Anderson.
Miss Anderson.
And-
All right.
and-
Thank you. Can we change the Sam? Okay, perfect. And then is that you, Mr. Harris, on the phone walking around? Mr. Harris, can you speak into your phone?
Oops.
Okay,
Mr.
I don't
Harris
know
hung
where
up.
he went. All right, Mr. Swenson, what do you have ready?
Good morning, Your Honor. If we could call Edward Hartu, present on Zoom. He's on the 9 o'clock.
He's in the car next
All
to
right,
me.
this is cause number 480249925. Mr. Hartu, good morning. Can you hear me, sir? Looks like he's frozen. Can you turn your video off and see if you can answer me again?
Can you hear me?
Barely.
It's like, let me drive to another spot.
Just
Get a better signal.
Can you turn your video off, sir? Okay, now try saying hello. Oh, shoot. We lost him. I see Anna for the no contact
Turned the phone off.
motion, but we've lost Mr. Edward Hartu.
Oh, man. Tech.
I can try to.
Attorney Swenson, welcome back.
There's something going on, but it ain't loud enough up here.
Sir, is that Mr. Harris?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you put yourself on mute? We're waiting for your attorney.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Swenson, did you have anyone else that was ready?
No. Well, Your Honor, I think we can call. Sorry, just a second. Robert Reese on the 9 o'clock.
Okay. This is 3A0395524, Robert Reese.
Driving through a bad
on a SOC final.
This is a little bit like Hollywood Squares.
That's right, Your Honor. I believe that this is successful completion of the SOC.
City
All right,
agrees,
are we
Your Honor, all
waiving his
conditions.
presence? Sorry.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm waiving his presence today.
So, Your Honor,
Go
city
ahead,
agrees
Mr.
that all
Sharp.
conditions have been met and city moves to dismiss with prejudice.
All right. The court will grant that motion to dismiss. The city is satisfied that all of the conditions of the continuance have been met. I will sign a judgment and sentence on the theft third degree with a dismissed with prejudice disposition.
Best possible outcome for the accused. Can't come back. We've got just a couple minutes. We're going to wrap this up here for the day. It is just after 4 o'clock. Wanted to see if anything
And Your
interesting
Honor,
was
I'll
going to happen.
try to see if I can get in contact with Mr. Hartu to get him back on.
All right.
Mr. Hartu's like, she told me to hang
And
up.
Mr. Swenson, if you happen to have a copy of that no contact order motion, would you mind sending it over as a courtesy? I can't seem to find it.
No, I've lost mine too. Coincidence? Hartu
Okay,
D2.
I've saved the JNS on Reese.
MKE 1121. I was green. Now I'm yellow. Happy me. Congratulations. You might have a free membership.
Miss Langley, do you
message
have
down the
anyone that's
bottom
ready?
Waiting for you as well.
Yes, if I'm ready with Mr. Harris, and I should be ready with the individual that just calls me.
Mr. Perro. Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Harris is on Zoom. Good morning, Mr. Harris.
Good morning, Your Honor.
The new
All right,
thanks
this
for being
is
dressed well for court.
4A0230181 on for confirmation of trial on a theft charge. Mr. Harris, I'm going to verify with you your address. Are you still at the 8th Avenue Northeast Auburn address?
Yeah, 1608 8th Avenue.
Yep.
Make sure they put apartment 27.
I'm sorry, I was supposed to mute that out. I was reading something else.
Different one?
No, yes,
We'll mute this one out. So he updates his address.
08.
Northeast
Yep, still going.
27.
Yeah, I'm still going. I think we got all the pieces now.
Updated. And are you getting text message reminders for court?
Yes, I am.
Okay, perfect. All right. How are we proceeding, Ms. Langley?
Thank you, Your Honor. He is on for confirmation today. He has a felony matter pending, and I'm working with his felony attorney. I expect this case to resolve, but it's just a question of timing. Can we set this pretrial out about 30 days? I mean, this confirmation out about 30 days. I can file a waiver.
I'll hear from the city.
No objection relying on the waiver, Your Honor.
All right, we will need a waiver of speedy trial. Have you gone over that with Mr. Harris?
I have.
Okay, so Mr. Harris, what your counsel's asking is that we set this over so that she can see what your resolution is in Superior Court, which may affect your resolution in this case. We will strike your jury trial. It is set on July 31st and August 1st. We'll strike those two court dates. We're going to reset readiness. And when do we have for that?
June 19th.
Is the 19th of August? 19th of August work for all of the parties for readiness? And what would our jury trial be? What dates would our jury trial be? Would it be the 21st,
Yeah,
22nd? August 21st, 22nd. Does that work for the parties?
Yes.
Could Your Honor say again what the confirmation date was?
August 19th.
Okay. No problem here, Your Honor.
All right. And then back up our trial dates of the 21st and the 22nd of August. And then we'll need a speedy trial waiver. Are you emailing that to our clerk, Miss Heidi?
I will before the day's up.
Okay. Are you restarting speedy today?
It's restarting speedy today, yes.
Okay. So what that means, sir, is that the city has 90 days from today to take your case to trial in this matter.
Okay.
So they don't waive
Any
speedy,
questions?
they just keep.
No, my next
out
court
further.
date is August 19th at
What time?
9 o'clock.
9 a.m. Yes.
Same courtroom.
August 19th at 9 a.m. in courtroom 2.
Okay. Thank you,
All right.
everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Mr. Crow? I think, is that right? Am I saying that right?
Parrott.
Mr. Parrott. Cause number 3A03705543.
Viva. Sorry.
Go ahead, Ms. Langley. Mr. Parrott is here in court.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is actually sent on for proof of consumer awareness class, and because he had a new law violation, he's been doing some things that I think would be important for me to share with the city. So I'm just going to ask that this hearing be reset about 30 days, and that'll give him an opportunity to get to me what he's done, and perhaps that will satisfy things, or at least impact sentencing.
I'll hear from the city.
No objection.
Well, I guess the court or the city wouldn't mind a reset, but we would ask for some productivity here, requesting the court make a finding that there's no proof of compliance with the consumer awareness class requirement, as well as conviction on a new law violation. That's case ending 24 or case number 24 TAC 1, TAC 00063, TAC 23. So that's an unlawful imprisonment charge out of Mason County that has resolved a conviction. So if the court makes the finding, no objection to just resetting a sanction here in 30 days.
Yep. That makes sense, Your Honor. We would stipulate to those things, and we could just set it then as a sanction hearing.
All right. And so the court will make a finding that there is a new conviction, which is a law-abiding behavior condition violation.
We've got the music
meaning
coming
that
soon.
your new conviction violates the terms of this case. One of those conditions of this case was not to have any new criminal law violations. So given that you do have looks like an unlawful imprisonment, guilty on cause number 24-10006-423. I'll make that finding, and there is no filing of the consumer awareness class. So you're currently in violation of the conditions of this case. We'll set this for a sanctions hearing. When will we set this for? And do you need a JNS just for these findings? Or we're going to wait, right?
They're just setting the date here.
We have something like
We're gonna start
in,
playing some music here.
like 30 days out.
All right, 30 days. He's gonna be back in court, and we're gonna be back in court tomorrow. We don't have any breaking news in the Ashley Benefield trial. They're still under jury selection, so it looks like it might have been harder than I thought it was going to be. Apparently, this is a case that is a little more well-known down there than I thought it was. But Ashley Benefield, they're still working on the jury selection. I don't know how late they're going to go tonight. Probably at least another hour or so, maybe, at the minimum, seeing if they can get a jury seated. But we're going to keep watching that and keep an eye on that for that. So that's going to be our next big case. If they can't get a jury seated, we're going to keep court hopping until that time comes. So that'll be where we go next. Lots of viewers in Florida. That's wonderful. They're inside staying cool. There's news as well that Alan Jackson is still on the case. Yes, he was just in. He was in California. I believe they made a motion for this hearing that he be able to join via Zoom, which is what he connected via, even though he didn't speak during the trial. But that makes sense. He's still on the case for now. All right, tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live again tomorrow morning, which will be bright and early, right around 8:30, 8:45-ish. We're waiting, obviously, for word on, I just saw a tweet. That was from Brandy. What does Brandy have to say here? Let's see. I clicked the wrong button. Hang on. All right, no news, no new updates yet. That's it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Shame on you, sir.